Oh my god, look at this yoga hair. Oh, we're gonna leave it. Look, it looks good. Alright, guys, how are you tonight? How's your Monday? It's been quite a day. How's everybody feeling? Yay, yay. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Monday night. Hi, guys. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a day. So, anyways, here's what we got going on tonight. We are talking about money. Money, 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 money. 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 We all need it. Hi, boo-boos. Hi, all my boos. I'm so happy you're here. We're talking about money. How to let go of our old money story. How to incorporate and start shifting into an energetic match with our new money story. So it's just me. So if you had enough of me, don't stay. I don't have a guest tonight, but tomorrow night I'll have a guest, and that's going to be a great story. But for tonight, we're just going to go over some basics of what you can do. Hello, everybody who's coming in. So we're going to go over some basics of what you can do to start shifting your money story and starting to release some of those patterns that are being stored up here. I was just listening to an angel call. I'm on an angel call every Sunday, and this one was a replay because she canceled it. And again, she was just saying over again, which it's not her, she channels the angel Raphael, that this can be controlled. You can use your breath and drop into your body and fill up your heart and lead with your heart, and you can tell the mind to shut the fuck up. She didn't say it like that. That's just how I'm saying it. So if anybody could hear Champ panting, because he's still very excited because I just got home. But we're going to talk about a couple of the intro things that I did to shift my money story. So, some of the things that we think about money, the beliefs that we have been, again, a program that's run from growing up, our parents, what we've heard them say, what we watched, or just the living conditions that we had to live in, right? So everybody's got a different story when it comes to that. Maybe you didn't have a low-income household growing up. Maybe you did have a low-income household growing up. Maybe it wasn't low income, it was like middle class, but your parents just had very ill words when they talked about money. And they lived in a money scarcity. So the first thing, hello to everybody who's just joining. We're talking about our old money story and how to recognize it before we talk about some of the things we could do to shift into a new money story, starting with the basics if we haven't done that. So, we have to be, we have to be empathetic of the older generations and the money story that they come with because of what those generations experienced, right? So we have generations that they traveled here from other countries, mine included. My dad came from Sicily. We have generations where they lived through the Great Depression, right? So there was like nothing, And so you have to understand that you also have your generations of who lived through World War II, no matter what country you lived in, right? And so a lot of that energy is ingrained, and a lot of that is our generational trauma. And with some education and with some mindset work, you can shift that. It's always tough when you're going up against those generations. They may never be able to get it. As you know, some of them, they may never be able to shift out of anything. Excuse me. I don't know what the hell is going on with me. They may never be able to shift out of anything that they are dead set on, like that set belief system, right? So that's okay. That's okay. Because that's why the generations came through afterwards, and that's why we're here to do the shifting. So first, did you ever hear statements in your family like, oh no, we don't have enough. Oh no, we can't buy that. Oh no, money's the root to all evil. Oh, we can't afford that. No, you cannot. You better make this $20 last for 4 weeks. No, I'm kidding. It was always like a week or 2 weeks sometimes, right? Yeah, all the time. Chechi says all the time. Right. And so the other thing is because the older generations, the money was such a big thing. What happened is if we want to look at, so I'm elder millennial, Zennial, because I'm borderline Gen X millennial, where half of my upbringing, there was no technology. And then growing into my adult life, I had to adapt into technology, right? And so anybody before that, I apologize in advance now for Champ, because he's just doing his thing with the door. So anybody before that, they then passed on the boomers and Gen X that we don't talk about money. We don't say anything about money. We don't let anybody know anything, right? And that silencing, that also bled into, we're not teaching our generations about money. Okay? And so I was reflecting back on me, and I was like, where did I first run into like learning money and having a bad money story? And it happened in my late teens, early 20s, when I left my house, my mother's house, and I was with my ex-husband, and he had a very bad money story. He taught me so many bad things about money. But anyways, so then I was like, but why? Why did I take on so much of that and not before that? And the reason being is because my parents didn't teach me. So, who, drop it in the comments, let me know that you're alive, who also didn't have parents that taught them about finances? They didn't teach them about, let's say if you worked a part-time job in high school and then you had that paycheck, what happened? Like, where did it go? Because I also remember that too. I remember working in high school. I got paid. Ask me where that money fucking is or went. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Did my mother give it to me? Maybe she didn't, and maybe she kept it. I don't know. And if she did give it to me, where did it go? I don't remember what I spent it on. I wasn't told, hey, let's put, this is what you have to do with your money when you work. You got to put some towards savings. You have an expense for this. You could do, if you needed this. That, like, Or you want to go out, you want to go to the movies with your friends, you want to go roller skating. Like, I wasn't taught that. I wasn't taught that, right? And look at the comments. Look at the same. And that right there is the problem. That's the main problem. Because we're learning calculus and geometry and math instead of how to fucking handle money and a checking account. And that's the main problem that it starts with. So now that we discovered we weren't taught properly how to manage money, okay, now what happens when we're an adult? Now we're working, and what do we do with our money? What do we do with it? We pay our bills. Do we know how to budget for it? Do we know how to make sure, we need money for gas, we need money for food, we need money for unexpected expenses, no. So what happens is that our mindset, what we think about money, gets so fucked up. It becomes this thing where we have such bad energy on money. And the thing is that money is just energy. So we have such bad energy around money, and we have a scarcity mindset, and we have a lack mindset about money. And then we can do one of two things. We can either go and spend all of our money, especially if we grew up and we were always told, we don't have McDonald's money. Who was told we don't have McDonald's money? We can't do that because we don't have money. So then you want to go and you want to spend the money because you want to do things you didn't get to do when you were younger, right? Or, and this is just as bad, you hoard it. You hoard it and you're scared to spend it. So both ends are not good because it doesn't circulate the money. And like I said, money is just energy, and energy gets circulated. So we have to circulate our money. So how do we circulate our money? Well, some of the biggest things that we have to circulate our money are bills. But people refer to bills as expenses and spending money. So we got to switch the mindset there about the bill. So one of the first things when I was learning about my money story and learning how to change my money story was, how do I feel about my bills? And what I had to do was I actually had to say, let's just talk about our cell phone bill. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or if it's $200. We have a cell phone. We are provided a service on that cell phone. And whether it's shitty service or not, we still use that service. So when you pay the cell phone bill, you say, my cell phone provider is Verizon. And yeah, that's ridiculous. However, I know that I will always have service because I had service during Hurricane Sandy. So I make decisions based on certain things as well. Okay, I'm going to pay a little bit more, but at least I'm always getting my full service. I really ever don't have service unless I'm very secluded in nature. So there's a trade-off there, right? But what I started to do was I would be like, thank you, Verizon, for providing me with that service as I paid them their bill, right? So PSE&G is the majority here in New Jersey of us who have electric and sometimes gas, or both. And when it's hot outside and you turn on that AC, PSE&G is providing you with electricity so that you can run that damn AC, right? And you could be cool. Same thing when you got to turn on that heat. Maybe you pay a different company for your heat. Either way, they're still providing you a service, right? So you say thank you for your heat. Thank you for your electricity. and you pay them. And so what that does is it puts a completely different energy around how you're feeling about money. We won't talk about big name companies and how we all feel about them. It's sickening and whatever. However, we're still being provided a service. And so we'll still thank them for their service and pay their bill, right? Now, let's talk about when we're using money to fill a void, because that's something that we don't spend a lot of time talking on, is when we're abusing our money. And that is a form of abuse. So we're looking to fill a void. What's the void? The root of the void really is, I don't feel enough. That's the void. And what we do is we go shopping. This may piss some people off, but I'm going to say it. And I'm saying it because I'm coming from a place where I used to have shiny object syndrome. I used to fill that void at times and go shopping. I bought a lot of shoes and a lot of clothes. And we won't talk about how much. However, I was there at one point. Then, as I started to fill up my self-worth and fill up feeling enough, I started to not shop to fill the void. So that's a part of money where we have some energy on that what we do is it's also a form of self-sabotage, because and thank you, hello to the new people who are joining. I'm sorry we're already in it, so maybe you go back and watch a replay after I post it so that you can catch up to where you joined in. But that's also a form of self-sabotage, because if you think about it, if you know you only have a certain amount of money that comes in, and then you have a certain amount of money that you're going to circulate to the bills, then there's a certain amount of money that's left over. And then we have to allocate that money to groceries, to gas, to some other expenses, especially if you have children. But then we're going and we're rebelling against whoever. If you haven't cleared up some of the trauma stuff, you're rebelling against somebody else. Otherwise, you're just rebelling against yourself. And you're going and you're overspending that money. And by the way, I'm just talking about the amount that you have that comes in. I didn't even hit the debt part. So, you're going and you're spending that money. And then what you do is you're setting yourself up for disappointment and to feel shitty, because now you just overspent. You're going to have buyer's remorse. It didn't fill the void that you were looking for it to fill, because it cannot. Nothing can fill the void of not feeling good enough except for filling yourself up with love. Okay? Which is why when I started my workshops, I started with body shaming. I called it body shaming because I thought enough people were going to catch on to it. It really is self-love, but it's talking about how we tear ourselves apart to love ourselves. And we'll revisit that again and see how we do that with maybe an online thing. It was more powerful in person last week, though. So you set yourself up in this habitual cycle of disappointment and self-sabotage of what you're doing with your money, okay? Take a deep breath with me. I know we're hitting on the stuff, and it's a lot, but it's got to come up and out, right? And then let's add on one more wing to that spending of the money, which is the debting. When you're now using external money to fulfill your void and to go shopping. Now, when we change the money mindset, we can look at leveraging other people's money. And when I say that, I'm meaning the bank, private lenders, credit cards, for our benefit. But when it's not for our benefit, when we're abusing it to buy things and overextend ourselves to fill that void, to keep up with the Joneses for certain things, vacations, clothes, shoes, all the shit, giving your kids too much shit, like all of it, okay? And that's when it gets out of control. So, we've covered all of the things. Now, let's talk about, let me see, I wrote a bunch of notes. There was so much coming through today, and real quick, I'm going to touch on, I posted a story and I said, I'm going to tell you why I feel like a dirtbag. Because I have done a lot of work on my money story, and I have done a lot of work energetically, and I've called in money differently and all of that. However, I'm still in a financial situation right now that if people were like, wanted to place judgment on me, they would be like, who's this chick to fucking teach me about money when she's not on a yacht or in a fucking mansion? Yeah, because it's not about that though either, right? And what I'm doing is I'm not teaching you about my money. I'm teaching you how I have changed my mindset and my energy around money. Let's touch real quick on where we spend money. Because again, the money being the energy, where you spend it matters. So I mentioned earlier about the big companies. Who do you feel is more appreciative of you buying something from them? A big store, let's call that store Target, just as a random name, we'll throw that out there, or a small business that's maybe family owned and some of their family members work with them there, and they do all of the operations day in and day out together. Who do you feel is more appreciative of you circulating your money, buying something from them? Which one? Put it in the comments. Tell me which one. I want to know how you feel about it while I grab some water. Chachi came through. She said a small business. Yep. Sydney came through and said a small business. Yep. You can't have your water's in your bowl. You can't drink from my water bottle. Get out of here. Small business. Yes. Okay. So, small business. Yeah. And when I'm talking about circulating the money, I'm also talking about services and products. Okay. Yes. Small business. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Esther. Thank you. So, why? Because I'll tell you why. The connection of the money, that big company doesn't give a shit about you. Okay? Even if they have an affiliate program where you get a teeny incy bit of money back. No. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care. All their ads and okay. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They just want to take your money. Different energy. They want to take your money. The small business people, the families, they receive in your money in appreciation. So when I talk about money and I say we're circulating it, which way feels better to have money come back to you? Do you think money is going to come back to you? Even come back to you? Will it make its way back to you? And if it does, what type of energy is it going to be on when it comes from the big name company? Feel that. Or when you're circulating your money to a small business that has so much appreciation, do you feel that money will come back to you because you made this family, this one person, this family, whatever it is, feel so good because they put so much blood, sweat, and tears into their stuff, whether it's a service or a product? So I want you to feel the difference of the energy of that, okay? Even if you love to go to the store and the people at the store are so nice and kind, those people don't own it. They just work there. They're just like you and me, which is why they're so nice and kind, if they are nice and kind, because we know that they hate their jobs too, so, because of the way they're treated from those companies, right? So think about that. Think about that part too, okay? I just reminded myself. Thank you, Danielle. Think about how that company treats their employees. Think about how much they pay their employees. Think about if they appreciate their employees, okay? So I want you to think about that. Now, I do want to clarify. I'm not saying all small business people are good people. I'm not saying they treat their employees well. I'm not saying that they really appreciate you buying from them. I'm talking about you feeling the energy to connect with where you should circulate your money. There's a difference, okay? This is so that you could feel into you and how you want to do that. And so when I started to do that, what I started to do was look at what small business is. And by the way, I hate saying small business because, and I'm a small business, and there's plenty of small business people on here, which I know, because we're not small, okay? We're not small. And we're going to be big, and we're going to be huge, and we're not going to put a name like small and brace us into a box, okay? But society calls small businesses by size and shit, certain shit, so we'll use it just for namesake. However, just know that you're a big business in my eyes. It's exactly how I tell Champ. Champ is a small dog, but he's got big dog syndrome, so I say, okay, big guy. It's okay, big guy, right? It's all right. So, I want you, what I did was I started to look at some things, and at the same time, I was also changing over my lifestyle to be a chemical-free lifestyle. So, I was looking, because I knew the big name box stores didn't have what I was looking for. Everything in those stores have chemicals. So I was not going to find what I wanted there. So I had to do the research. And it was all supposed to join in together like that so that I could do the research, so that I could find people who hand make products, companies that are not big, huge companies that aren't in stores but have an online store, so that I can circulate my money differently. It all was setting me up to be in alignment, right? So think of that for yourself and how you can look that way on what you want to do. I'm not saying you have to be chemical free, although for your health you should. Just saying. However, you can also buy your things from other places. Also, there are smaller name grocery stores. Okay? There's the big names that we know of, and everybody in different areas of the United States have different names, right? But there are also smaller name grocery stores, and those smaller name grocery stores are also owned by families. So think about if you have one of those smaller name grocery stores in your town or not too far away from you, if you can go and buy some things there. Now, I also completely understand where we are at in 2024 and the price of everything, especially in the food store. It's out of control now, and I understand that. I understand that there's budgets out there. But what I'm saying is that if you can, so your money can come back to you, try and do it. Okay, next, let's move on to, we talked about the bill thing. Let's move on. Let's move on to our mindset around how we feel about our money. And whether you have a job or you have a business, this is going to be a little bit more pertaining to the entrepreneur with a business, because an entrepreneur has to go and bring in their money. And so that's a huge part of the energetic connection. And this was why I learned it, because I went into sales 9 years ago. And the first sale I went into was life insurance. And again, I wasn't even educated on life insurance from my family, by the way. Okay? So think about it. I'm going to sell life insurance, which I have been told is the hardest sale you can make. However, if you ask me, I will tell you, I think it's the easiest. But that was when I dove in head first, and I knew that I was going to be working on me. And I hired my coach, and I started to learn about the money story. And I had to understand about my energetic connection to money and my mindset around money and how I think about money. And because prior to that, I was always a single mom. So my lifestyle growing up, I was always in lack and survival. And that plays a part of the level and our container, what we could hold to call in money, okay? So I had to learn to talk differently to myself about money and phrases that I would use. And so I wrote a quick list before so that I can share some of those phrases with you so that you can start to talk to yourself to start shifting your mindset. And my one favorite phrase, and I still use it to today, and I know that hardly anybody writes checks and mails checks in the mail, but it doesn't matter. It's just about the phrase of the check is always in the mailbox. And I have to tell you that I have used this phrase several times, and I have had random checks in my mailbox. And it has come from random places. And they have been as little as sometimes 87 cents. And they have been as much as like a random, almost $500 check. And so I promise you that some of these phrases to help you align with your money energy better is going to help you. And it may not be that the physical check is in the mailbox, but maybe you receive a Zelle or a Venmo, whatever it is, right? Or it's a contract with a company to provide the service, right? Or order products from you. Or it's a client that signs up and registers. So there's a lot of different ways that it will drop that you're calling in your money by saying certain phrases. So again, I told you I'm a little old school, split half and half. So I use the phrase, the check is always in the mailbox. My check is always in the mailbox. My check is in the mailbox today, right? And I repeat a lot of these phrases to myself. So when I tell you to talk to yourself, yeah, it's like, it's a little, but you got to do it. You got to do it. And I subbed another yin class last night, and I told them last night, Susan's on the call. She'll tell you. She'll confirm in the comments. I told them that you got to get it up and out. You got to speak it out more verbally into the universe, not just thinking it, but you got to get it up and out. Okay? So another one that I use is money is a constant, and money is a constant flow in my life. Money is a constant flow in my life. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I'm going to give you some time to catch up. Money is a constant flow in my life. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. Another one that I use is it's already mine. It's already mine. The payment's already mine. The sale is already mine. The client is already mine. The opportunity is already mine. It's already mine. If you're looking for a job, and you want to work a job, which is okay if that's what's right for you, then say the job is already mine. If you're going for a job, right? The job is already mine. I say the client is already mine. The opportunity is already mine for me to do other things, right? It's already mine, meaning it's already here, because I live in a present state as much as possible. Actually, I think I'm almost 24/7 in a present state now, from doing the work and breathing and all of the things. I don't worry about the past, and I don't focus on the future. I have vision of my future, but I'm right here. So it's already mine. You have to talk like you already have it, like you claim. I hate the thing claimed. That's getting a bad rap, guys. Please, those videos, if you're on the Clock app or anywhere else you see them and they're like, claim it now. That's not it. That's not it. That's not the work, okay? Talk it out loud and say, this is already mine. You have to repeat the phrasing, though. You can't just be like, claim it. I claim it. Please stop with that bullshit, okay? I use other phrases like my worth is massively compensated. My clients love to pay me. My clients love to pay me my value, right? That company wants to pay me my value for me to do corporate work there or speak at their convention or whatever it is, right? These are all phrases I'm sharing with you that I'm using in my business. So it's a little more business oriented. So go back. If you didn't get all the phrases, write them down. Let me know. If you are like, I have a specific situation, Danielle, can you give me an affirmation for this? Or slide in my DMs. We chat. We'll talk. I'll send it to you. I will download it and send it to you. All right. So what I want to tell you is what I observed on myself today so that you can understand and know when you do the work, how you observe yourself and the shifts that you have yourself. By the way, there is a lot more. Saturday at the in-person workshop, we're going to be doing a couple of things that are going to help us feel the shift a little more. That's why I love the in-person workshops, because I do physical activities with you. Because when we bring the body into it, with the speaking, with the new thoughts, we make a bigger energetic shift, okay? So, in the past, when I was working a job, let me tell you what happened when I lost my job. However, it was lost. Nothing is ever lost, by the way. You're just always being shifted and guided into a better alignment for you. However, back in the day when I had those JOBs, and like I said, the survival mindset, the lack mindset, I freaked out. Freaked the fuck out, okay? Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. All the things. You know all the things. You've probably done them too. All right. As I worked more, and what I will tell you when it comes to money, when it comes to everything that you're doing, energy is a blind trust and faith. And so this work really builds your faith in you, and your faith in knowing that you are supported 100% by whatever you want to call it. God, the universe, Allah, whatever you call it. It doesn't matter. It's all the same, by the way. It's energy. So, you really go deep and you really dig that faith. Let's fast forward. The last time I had a JOB was November of 2022. Then I was applying for jobs. However, the universe was like, we're done with your bullshit. You're not working a job anymore. You now must step in to your true passion, your purpose, and your service in this world. And I was like, well, you gonna have to show me the money, right? By the way, we love that line, right? Jerry Maguire, where's my Jerry Maguire people? Come on, put it in the comments. Give me a show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Cuba Gooding Jr. Best freaking scene ever. So, that was me. I was Cuba Gooding Jr. talking to God and the universe. And I'm going, show me the money. I still do. I did it today. So, because you really have to believe, and you shift saying how. It's not about the how. This is where you're going to hear me talk towards the end of the month about control, because that's going to be the last workshop, and how you must relinquish control. And you cannot worry about how, because I will tell you what I didn't tell you before when I was selling life insurance. I made a shit ton of money. I did a post today. I said, I fucking love money, because I do. Because when I moved myself out of lack and survival, and I had all of this money flow through to me, I was able to not tell my daughter no. I was able to buy her quality food for lunch, and she didn't have to go a whole week of eating peanut butter and jelly. Okay? So my life shifted, and I saw it. And I said, this feels so much more aligned. And I love how this feels. So again, money is not a bad thing. What people do with money is a bad thing. How people talk about money is a bad thing, but money is not a bad thing. Money is energy that's an extension of you, okay? And again, it's not really that I love money, but I love money. But it's what I'm able to experience with that money. It's how I'm able to live with that money. It's what I'm able to do with that money. You know that when I had that money come through, I was still going to church at the time. And guess what? Your girl was tithing. Okay? I was tithing. I didn't blink. And some people may think it's not a lot of money. And some people might be like, really? I was writing $250 checks consecutively to the church. Okay? For me, I used to put dollar bills in the basket. I used to give my daughter $1 to put in the basket. Think about that. That's a huge shift of energy. That's a huge different feeling. So it's going to be work, and it's going to be about release and control, and it's going to be about you saying different things, you feeling different things. And you can do this even if you're not bringing in a lot of money. You can still do it, okay? So, what I noticed in my shift when I told you that I felt like a dirtbag today about teaching you about this, and I had very heavy feelings about my financial situation today. And I do feel everything was supposed to come up now that I worked through it. And I cried half the day. Half the day I cried. Sobbed. Yeah, it was coming up and out. And here's what I didn't do, and how I know that I didn't revert and slide back, because it's been years. I used to revert and slide back. as you keep working on your stuff that you're improving on you, no matter what area in life it is, you'll revert and slide back when the universe shifts things to test you, right? To make sure you're doing and having your, unblindly faith, right? But then as you keep working and upgrading yourself, like we upgrade our phones, we upgrade ourselves, we upgrade our programs inside, you're going to notice that you don't slip back into those thoughts, those patterns, things like that, right? So here's what I didn't do today. I have to celebrate my wins, and I want to celebrate them with you tonight on the live. So I thank you so much for joining me tonight. Can you give me your best emoji in the comments for me to celebrate my little wins today, please? I do want to feel your love and support because it was heavy today for me. So I really do appreciate it. So throw me some confettis or some hearts or whatever you want in the comment section. Here's what I didn't do. I didn't eat. Because what we don't realize is what our vices for the trauma, it will come up. It will. Okay? So I didn't eat. I didn't eat food. I meant, like, if you don't know my story is that I'm an emotional eater. I eat all my emotions. So the emotions that were all coming up today, I used to would have just wanted to revert to food and grab food and eat whatever it was, like the bad stuff, even though I say that ice cream is my loneliness, I still would have probably have wanted ice cream and maybe even chocolate or candy, maybe an orange slice, sweetest fish. All right, let me get out of that. I didn't revert to old energy and have desperate thoughts. So that used to be a big thing that was my number one, the thing that I knew I wasn't right. And it's still, the energy shifted off because I used to have desperate thoughts. Oh, I didn't finish telling you. So I would try and apply for those jobs. Oh, no, I did tell you. Never mind. Anyways. The desperate thoughts of having to shift off of staying in aligned with my purpose and my focus. I didn't go and get desperate and be like, oh my God, let me go do something that I won't fucking like at all just to bring it, because that's not how it works. But we do that. We do that, right? I didn't spiral. I didn't flip out. I didn't get nasty. That's a big one. I wasn't, because usually, like, I turned mean. My daughter always says, you're so mean. I'm not mean. But if the energy shifts and I'm not liking it, I can be mean. I'll just say something mean about anything. Like, look at my pyrite. See, look, I have the crystals. These are crystals for money. They go to the left of wherever you sit to do your work. So if you sit on your computer at your desk, they go to the left. So if you want to go get yourself a pyrite, it's called Fool's Gold, but it's energetically for helping you to call in money. Also jade, also green aventurine. I didn't spiral, and I wasn't like just randomly cursing things off for no reason, or being like, that's just fucking stupid, or anything like that. What else? I allowed my feelings, and I stayed in action for my business. So in between my tears, in between my it really was like a little more fear that was coming through today. I still stayed in action for my business, which in the past, anytime I was trying to do business work, I would just shut down and I would not want to do anything related to the business. So I noticed that. So that's another win. And I also reached out for support. I reached out for support. And I saved that one for last because what I want to tell you is that you're never alone in anything that you're doing. There are so many people out there going through things. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing that you're going through. But what I want you to know is that you're never alone. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a close connection with them or not. If you feel called to reach out to somebody who you know will support you, and because make sure it's the right person that can support you, hold space for you, support you. I actually had somebody hold space for me and support me today that, we don't know a lot about each other, but she was there and she was amazing. And if I wasn't involved in doing something with her today, I would have never had, I'm not saying anything about her, but I wouldn't have reached out to her because we didn't have that close connection. So I want to tell you that. And if that means me, I tell you all the time you could slide into my DMs. I am always holding space for you if you reach out and are saying, I'm having a tough time going through this. Because guess what, guys? It's not always about the money. It's not. It's just about being kind and loving and empathetic and nurturing and compassionate. And guess what? When you sit in heartfelt-led emotions, money, you'll be rewarded. And it's not because you're doing it for a reward. It's just because, remember what I said? It's all energy. It's all energy. So how you show up for you is how you'll show up for other people. And the whole thing just goes like this. So that's it for tonight. I have a lot of good info that you're going to see over some posts over this week. There's going to be a woman who's on my live tomorrow that's going to tell a great story about being restricted with money on disability and what she's doing to plan because she has a sick spouse. And it's going to be a great story. So I would love for you guys to join me tomorrow so that you can hear a different perspective. That's what I do love to bring to you on the lives, all different perspectives, different stories on the same topic. Because like I said, we don't have to go through the exact same thing, but we go through the exact same thing, but it's just different. So with that, I love you. Thank you for being out there in comment land. And I hope to see you or talk to you at some point this week. Watch the replay if you want to go back over some things. That's the other thing. I used to listen to a lot of things over and over and over and over again. Okay? If you really are having a tough time managing and understanding what to do with money and how to break it up, the one book that was amazing that changed my money and taught me money that my coach recommended me is called Money Drunk, Money Sober. Money Drunk, Money Sober. And then spiritually, someone who I listened to later on when I dipped in more spiritually with stuff is Amanda Francis. Her book is called Rich as Fuck. She has a huge platform on Instagram. That's how I had found her. And just how her words flow out of everything. And she calls herself the Money Queen. But she basically has you doing inner work too, because I told you money is connected to that. So, also, last but not least, my Sag, I'm wrong. If you have a problem letting go with anything or letting go of your money story, my coaching program is open where we do one-on-one coaching, working specifically with letting all of the shit go. So, if you're feeling called to finally work through and let it go, And what does letting go mean? Meaning you finally disconnect yourself from the story. You finally heal the root of things. And you start to allow your body to not feel so heavy. It doesn't matter if you weigh 100 pounds or you weigh 300 pounds. The body is heavy because of what you're holding on to. Okay? Slide into my DMs. In my bio, I have 30 minutes we can spend one-on-one time together. That is complimentary. And that's just to make sure that we're aligned. Because I work with the energy, I do have to qualify you. I am an activator. If you haven't heard me speak on when I do Reiki and stuff, mostly when I'm in my yoga class or whatever, I'm an activator. And so I have to make sure you're actually really ready to receive the energy that does flow through me. And I'm not going to crack you open and you're going to want to drive your car off the bridge, literally. So that is why we have the alignment call. And if we're not aligned at the moment, I will give you things that you could work on, that you could start to do. And or I will refer you. I have been networking for 9 years. I will refer you to whoever I feel, because again, the energy will tell me, would align better with you, okay? And I'm not just referring you to anybody. I'm referring you to my peoples, okay? And I only keep good peoples that I will refer to. So with that, thank you. I love you. I wish you all a good night. I apologize to myself for calling myself a dirtbag today. And I appreciate you joining me. Have a lovely, lovely evening. We will talk this week. Ciao, ciao. Bye.